will your government provide an actual card or proof of vaccination? And if not, why not?
Well, I've never believed in proof. Everyone gets their proof when they get the vaccination. You're right. Anything can be fraudulent, right down from money to certifications. I just, no, we aren't doing it. Simple as that. We're just going to move forward. Now, if it's federal, getting across the border, that's up to the federal government. We'll see what they decide to do. I'll be talking to the Prime Minister tonight. But the answer is no. We aren't going to do it. We aren't going to have a split society.
A much-anticipated announcement was made a short time ago at Ontario's provincial legislature. Premier Doug Ford says the province is moving forward with a vaccine certificate. It will help Ontarians over the age of 12 to prove they are fully vaccinated. And as in some other provinces, that will be necessary to access non-essential services like restaurants. Here's what Ford had to say about the changes.
Vaccinations will be mandatory for certain indoor settings where the risk of transmission is highest because of masks aren't always worn, including restaurants, bars, and casinos, among others. Enforcement will be led by law officers, will be reasonable, and will rely on individuals and businesses to do the right thing. The policy will not apply to outdoor spaces where we know the risk of spreading COVID is low, except for nightclubs because of the higher risk of these settings. We will accommodate legitimate medical exemptions and will be closely aligned with other provinces that have introduced similar policies while ensuring we design and implement a policy that makes sense for Ontario. These measures will be in place as of September 22nd, and they're intended with one goal in mind: to allow Ontario to keep moving forward safely.
For more on this, let's bring in the CBC's Linda Ward. She's live in Toronto. So Linda, tell us more about the vaccine passport plan. How's it going to work?
Well, Andrew, this is going to work as really a two-step plan. Initially, starting September 22nd, to enter any number of businesses on a list of businesses the government has deemed non-essential and high risk. You'll have to show your vaccine receipt along with some ID. That vaccine receipt can be downloaded from the province's vaccine portal. The businesses affected by this, you heard the Premier talking there just about a few of them: gyms, sports facilities, indoor restaurants and bars, nightclubs, both indoor and outdoor spaces at nightclubs, movie theaters, meeting and event spaces, concerts, and other large gatherings. It does not include retail settings, no retail stores, no malls included here, no patios. Barbershops and salons are not included as part of this. Neither are religious gatherings, youth, recreational sport. They're not deemed to be high risk by the Chief Medical Officer of Health, but as they say, that can change. So the second step of this process comes on October 22nd, and that's when the province is aiming to issue enhanced vaccine certificate. So these would be like your vaccine receipt, but it would have a QR code on it that you could then download onto your Apple Wallet or whatever you like on your phone and take it to a business, which would have an app that's still in development. They would scan that QR code. It would tell them that you are indeed vaccinated. That code could be used in other jurisdictions that recognize a QR code system for verifying vaccine status. And those without a smartphone, they can print that out and take it to the business. Now, some of the exemptions the Premier mentioned, they're medical exemptions, of course, and of course for those who are not yet eligible, those under the age of 12. And this, they say, will not restrict access to things like groceries, medical care. You'll still be able to go to the polls and vote in the federal election. You'll still be able to go to the bank, but there will be fines for those businesses that do not comply with these new regulations. Under the Reopening Ontario Act, those fines can start at $750 for an individual who does not comply, $1,000 for a business, and it goes up from there, Andrew.
Premier Doug Ford previously said Ontario wouldn't bring in a vaccine passport for, not to travel abroad, but for, within the province. What changed?
Yeah, definitely a bit of an about face there, but one the Premier says was necessary. He says it's no secret. This isn't something that he didn't want to do. He said that he, in the past, didn't want to create a split society, but today, saying it was necessary in order to keep cases down, get vaccination numbers up, and keep businesses and schools open. He called the Delta variant the greatest enemy yet, and said after finding out the federal government wasn't going to put in place a national passport, instead going with a, quote, unnecessary election, he called it, he had to take the advice of the Chief Medical Officer of Health and step up. Here's what he said today.
National system is far better than a patchwork of certificates across every single province and territory in the country, especially as more Canadians travel abroad. But Justin Trudeau has told us that they will not be rolling out a national vaccine passport while their election is ongoing. We can't wait any longer.
There has been opposition to this today too, Andrew. The opposition NDP saying that this is too late, that it's a half measure, that it leaves businesses to make some tough decisions. And speaking of opposition, while the Premier was having that news conference, there was actually quite a large protest happening outside of Queen's Park here that's now moving through the streets of Toronto. But part of that news conference, the Chief Medical Officer of Health calling on people to stay kind and compassionate throughout this. The Premier urging those who are opposed not to take it out on businesses, but take it to Queen's Park instead. And it seems some did that today, Andrew.
All right, Linda, thank you. The CBC's Linda Ward joining us live from Toronto.
Last time I was down here, these are the sparkles that I wanted to get. It just, as soon as I started recording, the wind died and they went away. We're here today, quite breezy today. It's beautiful out. I don't remember what the actual temperature was, but I'm not wearing shorts today. It's just cool enough for that. It was like 21, I think. But it's just a beautiful day, not hot, not cool. So I wasn't planning on making a video today, but there are a few things I wanted to talk about. I forget what they were. Oh yeah. Last time I drove by the town building where they have the snow plows for the winter. I can't think of what it's called. I noticed that hey, human alert, turn around, go back. Last time I drove by, which was I believe a couple days ago, I noticed big salt down there. Yeah, I went by today. I was actually going to turn in so you could see it on video, but unfortunately they've already mixed it with the sand and stuck it in the shelter, so you still see it, but it's hard to tell the salt in it. You know, I see little bits of white in this big mound of sand, so it's kind of hard to see it. So, if we get another one, then I'll be sure to point the camera towards it. So that just tells me the town's getting prepared for winter. I don't like the sound of that. Some of the trees are dropping leaves already. They haven't changed color, they're just dropping them. So, it's about that time. September 1st today. And about a week, and kids will be back in school. Supposedly. So, one thing I wanted to talk about, I saw turkeys again today crossing the road ahead of me. And just the last little while, last couple of years, I see them out in the open in the afternoon more often. I think that's kind of weird. Because normally I only see them first thing in the morning and that's it. Usually out in the field somewhere, I see them like that. I just find it kind of odd. One more thing I wanted to say is I want to thank everybody for the great comments you've been giving me and encouragement and stuff. Very much appreciated, very much heartfelt, and I thank you for that. Before I started recording, way down at the far end there, I saw the heron. He was kind of standing in the water, pretty much right in the middle of the river. I don't see it now. He must have moved on when I wasn't looking. Actually, I think I can kind of see it. Yeah, I see it. I saw his head move. There's two white rocks in the river on the left-hand side there, and he's in the grass, right at the edge of the river, right between them, almost in the center, but a little bit to the left, at the center of those two rocks. I'll try to zoom in, but I don't very much. This camera's going to do much. The phone camera, that's maximum zoom. I don't know if you can see him or not. I can zoom in with the software later, but it'll just be a digital zoom and it'll be all pixelated, so I can see him. So I'm still dealing with things. It's gonna take a while. So, every time I go out, pretty much every time I go out, I'm going down that our trail now. As like I explained before, it's even if I don't go down that trail, I have to actually physically, well, not physically, but I have to actually consciously make the choice not to. So whether I go down there or not, I'm still thinking about it. So, but it's just going to take some time to get over this. Like I said, that comment was very disturbing. It's something that you just don't forget about. It's gonna take some time. So right now I'm concentrating on what I'm doing on my computer. And I just decided to make changes. Everything's just kind of starting from scratch, I guess you could say. And first thing I'm working on is the new way to do the database, so it's accessing files is a lot quicker. And I have it set up now so I don't just have video titles, I actually have a thumbnail for them as well. And if I list all videos from one uploader, there's some that are quite a bit. Even mine, I have 762, I think it is, videos that are actually in the database. There's more to put in, but that's all I got in there so far. And to list all of those with the thumbnails, that's a lot of information to load a single page on. So about halfway through, scrolling down through them and thumbnails aren't showing up. That's typical. Page load usually times out before all the information's there, so there's workarounds for that. If you go onto somebody's channel on YouTube and you go to their video list and start scrolling down, you'll notice there's only a certain amount, and then once you get to the bottom, more load and appear. That's kind of what I learned how to do, so that's the way I'm doing it now, and it's working perfectly. Unfortunately, in order to do that, I can't use Internet Explorer anymore. It's the way I had the first one set up. That's a nice little hawk. I can't see the camera, so I don't know if you're seeing that. I got quite a glare on the screen here. I can't tell if you're seeing that or not. Little hawk flying over. I got scared when the truck came by. But I had everything set up for Internet Explorer. That's what I started using when I first started doing this years ago. everything's just kind of set up for that. But unfortunately, that particular method is called lazy load, and basically what it does, it only loads what's on the screen. It loads the whole page, but it doesn't display everything. Yeah, especially pictures and that. You can set different things. I only have it set on pictures. I might try table rows, see if it works. I know it works with iframes. I'll see if it works with table rows, and it's not just the pictures themselves that aren't loading until they're in view. But it took a little bit to learn it. I learned it all in one day, which was kind of cool. It just kind of meant I had to start over again to do things differently. And the main reason for that is because, like I said, I can't use Internet Explorer anymore, so I have to use Firefox now, and some things that I was doing don't work properly with Firefox. They display differently, so I had to kind of rewrite things for that. So I'm back to where I left off before I started doing the lazy load. Sure. And I'm really having a hard time seeing the screen here. I get quite a glare coming off me. I'm kind of pointing towards the sun, and me being lit up by the sun is reflecting off the screen. That's all I can see. I can just see myself. So hopefully everything's aimed properly here. I can kind of see the dark area. So I'm thinking that's the other end of the river. I don't know if that's where the shadow starts, or if that's the actual riverbank. I don't know. Either way. So that's kind of what I'm busy with right now. And it's just taking a lot of time, but it's just something I need to do. I needed to update that. There's so many new different processes of doing things, and just kind of making things a lot faster and a lot easier. Everything in one database, because I had separate databases for different things. Kind of put them all together in one. And then of course if I try something new, I have to reconstruct a database, which takes a couple of hours with what I've got in it. Once I get everything in it, it'll probably take, probably all day to update, but that's okay. Whatever it takes to do it. And the way I did it before, if I added new videos to my computer, then once they're processed, then I had to update the database again to include them. Now they're kind of automatically adding as I bring them in, and when I move files around their location, automatically updates as well. So that saves a lot of work, a lot of time. The way I had it before, I wasn't really sure how to figure out how to do that. So the new setup I got, it's so much easier. I guess that's it. I'm still kind of depressed right now. The fact that summer's coming to an end is really not helping with that. I'm used to that. I kind of thrive on depression because that's pretty much, the way my life's been. But the only issue with that is I just tend to not feel like doing anything. Used to be before. When I get in a really bad place, I'd listen to depressing music and just basically take myself to rock bottom, and there's no way to go but up. I kind of don't want to do that right now because, like I say, I got too much to do, and when I do that, I guess I don't feel like doing anything at all. So I really don't want to be in that position right now. So I'm gonna try to stand up here. I've been squatting too long. My legs don't want to work now. Oh, that hurts. That's very painful. And now I got a rush of blood going through me, and I'm getting dizzy. But I just wanted to give you guys an update. Like I say, I wasn't planning on making a video today, but I'm sitting here in one of my favorite places, nice and peaceful. Just until the traffic comes by anyways. And I saw the sparkles on the water. That's what I tried to show last time. And they're here today. So, So I'm gonna keep working on things, and eventually I'll get back into doing videos. I'm probably not gonna do one every day like I was. For one, I'm really not doing a whole lot. I'm still going out for a tour, but it's just, it gets kind of monotonous showing the same tour over and over and over again. So I'm gonna see if I can find something a little bit different, something that will actually keep my interest and keep myself from burning out again. That was the worst part of it. It's like doing the same thing over and over for so long. It just kind of got to me. It's like, why am I doing the same thing over and over? Because that's really difficult for me to do that. If I have something that doesn't work, I gotta set it aside and do something else, and sometime in the future come back to it, because it's really hard for me to do something more than once. So, but I made a decision. I'm going to continue, and hopefully I can start working on the monster soon. Still haven't heard anything about the batteries, so I'm going to have to call DSP in the morning on a day that I don't plan on going out. That way I'm home the whole time when they call back, because they're never in the office. I always have to leave a message and then they call me back. So I gotta make sure I'm home, because I want to find out what fax number they sent it to, so I can hopefully use that to track things down. And hopefully get something going, because I really got to get things going. And the temperature's dropped now, so in our next 2 weeks the forecast is in the low 20s, 20 to 23 degree range. So it will be good for working in the garage. It's just getting it's a matter of getting a desire to actually do something. It's kind of lacking right now. I guess that's really all I got to talk about right now. So just letting you know what's going on. I'm still working through things. Still trying to deal with stuff. It'll come in time. It's just gonna take a little bit. I guess that's it. Thanks for watching.